How to Train Your Dragon, well-loved kids movie and soon-to-be timeless classic, right? Wrong. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to take you through all the ways this film has personally offended me, my family, my childhood, and in many ways, ruined my life. Am I being overdramatic? Maybe. I still stand by it anyway. Disclaimer, I have done this rant in the past for over 20 minutes, while walking up a steep hill in the dark, powered only by my rage and fury. Anyway. The source of my ire towards the How to Train Your Dragon films is here. On the left, the film cover. On the right, the book cover. That's right, there are books. Many people don't know this, but there is a series of books about Hiccup and Toothless. And therein lies the problem, because that is where the similarities end. I'm not kidding about that. First up, Hiccup. Book Hiccup. He is younger than in the film and has red hair, the kind of face that you would forget almost immediately after meeting him. He is not good at being a Viking. Snotlout calls him Hiccup the Useless, which he later rhymes with Toothless, giving the dragon his name. In a later book, Hiccup discovers that he is actually a good sword fighter, he's just left-handed. He also studies dragons and learns Dragonese. Also, in the audiobooks, he has the same accent as the rest of the islanders. I never understood why, in the film, the main character has an American accent, while everyone else has a Scottish accent. Bear all this in mind until... Bruh. So, for Toothless, there are basically no similarities between book Toothless and film Toothless, besides the fact that they're both dragons. So, in the book, Toothless is a baby. He's very small, whereas in the film he is large, and I believe an adult or nearly an adult. In the book, Toothless has no teeth. As you would have thought from his name, he has no teeth, whereas in the film he has teeth, for whatever fucking reason. Book Toothless species literally common or garden or basic brown, like he is the most bog standard dragon it is possible to get. Whereas in the film is a super duper rare, I think he's a Night Fury or something, like they think is extinct. Book Toothless has a personality, which is a tiny little asshole. And film Toothless is a cat, but just giant. They based his animation style off a cat, which is pretty cute, but like he's just like, oh whoa, like he has no personality beyond being baby. And he also has a romance plot when they find another dragon of the super rare species that he is, and it's like a whole thing, like bleh, boring. Vikings and dragons. So dragons are everywhere in the books. Like they're just deeply entrenched into every aspect of the Viking life, and they just like they're everywhere from the gigantic sea dragoness Giganticus Maximus right down to tiny like insect type dragons. Everyone in the barbaric archipelago has dragons, like at least two. The first book starts with all the kids going to the dragon nesting site to catch a baby dragon to raise as their own. The only contents of the book How to Train Your Dragon in the book How to Train Your Dragon are to yell at it, but actually dragons are sentient and have their own language called Dragonese. Hiccup is fascinated by dragons and teaches himself how to speak Dragonese to the ridicule of the rest of the Vikings. By the way, Toothless is a sarcastic, cheeky little shit. Next, I'll take you through some of the other characters. Stoic the Vast, I actually don't really have any complaints with this one. He's a little confused, but he's got the spirit, he's pretty well-meaning. Hiccup's mum. This one confused me a lot when I saw the trailers, because in the books, Hiccup's mum lives with them. So who is this? Why does she look like Idina Menzel? Nobody knows. Fishlegs. This one actually upset me quite an unreasonable amount. In the books, Fishlegs is Hiccup's nihilistic, sarcastic best friend who was found abandoned on the beach as a baby. His dragon is called Horror Cow, and she is a vegetarian. He's also a berserker, which is great. And in the film, they got rid of all of that for the joke of he who fat man funny. Also, they took Hiccup's most defining feature, which is his special interest in dragons, and gave it to his best friend, so Hiccup could spend more time being sexy on camera. Astrid? Doesn't exist. Also, why is there romance here? Get it out. Tell you who does exist, though. Kamikaze. This tiny child is from the Bogburglar tribe, which is an all-female Viking tribe, led by her mum, big-boobied Bertha. And you know, like she's just like an actually real, like a real female character who probably exists. Like she's weird in the way that weird little girls are weird, not like, oh look, I'm a badass and I'm sexy and mysterious like Astrid. Like, get out of here, that's boring. Snotlout is a dickhead, to be honest. He straight up tries to murder Hiccup on a number of occasions. 0 out of 10, would not trust with a mouldy lettuce leaf, to be honest. Rough Nut and Tough Nut? Who? Plot. Okay, I'll be real, I haven't seen the film since like 2012, and I refuse to do so, but I did look up the plot on Wikipedia to make this presentation, and to be honest, I didn't miss much. I've already mentioned how the dragons are deeply ingrained in Viking culture, which alters about half the plot beyond recognition. The big bad of the first book is not the Red Death, it's a sea dragoness Giganticus Maximus, and then another one, which are called the Purple Death and the Green Death. They aren't defeated by an aggressive attack by the Viking army, they're defeated by Hiccup and the rest of the kids outwitting them. Hiccup actually engages one of the dragons in a battle of wits in Dragonese, and they trick them into battling each other instead. All of Hiccup's victories in the books are through his wit and thinking outside the box, using his knowledge of dragons and Dragonese rather than actually through force. I didn't actually read the books first, my original introduction was the audiobooks, read by David Tennant. Not to be all like, ooh, look at me, I make podfics, but honestly, these audiobooks are god tier and how I'm trying to be. I'm not joking when I say I probably wouldn't do podfics if I hadn't had these audiobooks. The voices, the accents, David Tennant, God, what's not to love? Genuinely one of the best things growing up. So why is Rio so mad about it? The film itself is actually not that bad on its own, but they could have easily done like 3 things differently and it wouldn't have had to have anything to do with How to Train Your Dragon. Like, just make it a straight up fantasy world, change some names and minor plot points, boom, new film, and that leaves the possibility open to make a film that's actually about How to Train Your Dragon. I actually think the books would work well as a TV show, like they did a series of unfortunate events. Any media that was actually based on the books would be brilliant, as the source material is quirky, unusual, and entertaining, etc., whereas the film they actually made is just, you know, Disney but a bit to the left. So in conclusion, the films have nothing to do with the books, I will have nothing to do with the films. I'm still angry about it after 10 years, and I'm not about to calm down now.